Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. This is a weekly show where brands discuss other brands' ads.
We always know that AI agents going to help us make our life better, complete our tasks faster. But this is kind of like a very creative spin, right?
We can bring in a technology that scares a lot of people. And in doing that, from a brand perspective, build an asset that is totally ownable.
I think there's like a heroism that's sort of attached to positioning Daisy as kind of the solution to this challenge, which was really smart. And in doing so, it also makes this like good AI.
My name is Tom. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, and we'd like to say thanks to our partners, Contagious, who help spread the word of this show and provide the ads every week. But before we get to this week's ad, let's meet this week's guests.
Hello, I'm Crystalyn Stuart-Loayza. I'm the Chief Digital Officer for Mekanism and Citizen, and I'm based out of New York, New York.
My name is Alvin Ooi. I'm the Digital Marketing Director at Flyon Agency. I'm based in Los Angeles.
Hi, I'm Rob Pothier. I'm the Head of Marketing for Portfolio Campaigns at PepsiCo UK and Ireland, and I'm based in London.
Brilliant. Okay, I've got an incredibly high expectation of this panel's performance based on those creds. So let's see this week's creative.
If you want to all your savings are gone, I can help you.
7 in 10 Brits have been targeted by scammers. And it's not just our grandparents. I was one of them. But this film isn't about getting scammed. This is about getting even. Meet my friend, Daisy.
Hello, scammers. I'm your worst nightmare. I'm an AI created by O2 to waste phone scammers' time. So, W's then a dot.
3 times W and then dot.
I think your profession is bothering people, right?
I'm just trying to have a little chat.
It's nearly been an hour! For the love of
Gosh, how time flies. It's showing me a picture of my cat, Fluffy.
It's showing you a picture of your cat, Fluffy.
Stop calling me dear, you stupid.
Got it, dear. Because while they're busy talking to me, they can't be scamming you. And let's face it, dear, I've got all the time in the world.
So whilst you're out enjoying life, Daisy and O2 are here fighting scammers, taking calls and wasting hundreds and hundreds of hours of scammers' time. If you want to help Daisy and O2 ruin a scammer's day, you can report scam numbers to 7726. Because you can't do it all on your own, can you, Daisy?
Who says I am, love? Speak soon, scammers.
5 is very amazing. 1 is not very amazing. So 1, 2, 3. I think that might put Virgin Media O2 at the top of the charts. So I remember when I first got into the industry, there was this concept of branded utility where brands were constantly trying to provide a service as marketing, whether it was like an iPhone apps were very much a new thing at the time. Brands just seem to have moved away from that. Obviously, there's notable things like Nike Plus, for example, but you see less and less of it as a thing. And what I see this as a really brilliant example of a brand providing a service as marketing. Rob, I'm keen to know, what was your take on this when you first saw it?
Let's say the brief is, we have a problem. We are often thought of as part of the issue on why people get scam calls. How do we flip the narrative on that? You can go in a lot of really expected directions in terms of, we help block X number of calls and let's create a spot about our benefits. The way they flipped this on its head, the way they offered something real and tangible and showed them fighting back while integrating it into a kind of AI solution, I just think is genius.
This is very timely and relevant because AI is in our everyday life these days. And the way the commercials showcase this AI products is very attention grabbing. As you know, our attention span is really, really short. I think they actually hit the spot and started doing really, really well, grabbing our attention and sit through the whole commercial.
I kind of assessed this in like three categories: the product, the way that they seem to have launched sort of the wider effort, and then the mechanics or the tactical elements of it. And I thought that the product itself is such an interesting and probably very good investment for a brand that is largely attached to the day-to-day way we communicate. And this seems like it's right in their wheelhouse in providing something that has a real purpose to it and a real value to the community, which makes it very altruistic. I think product-wise, the development of this and the innovation and the way they positioned this as a solution that is for everyone was really, really smart and very effective. They personified both the influencer who they used to kind of help tell the story. But I think what was also genius was personifying Daisy, sort of their AI granny. I think giving a face and a voice and a backstory and a way to really put a front end to this issue that's very difficult and complex was so genius. And it also opens up for so many legs for them to run this campaign in a way that both builds public awareness.
Was there any part of this where you thought like, they've missed something here, or this is how I would have built on it if you were leading the project?
I think the creative is so powerful. And what I remember is Daisy as the character. I remember the technology and the solution. But how many of the individuals who heard about this campaign are going to know absolutely that it was O2? I think that's an area that I may want to push on.
How about you, Alvin? What would you like to have seen done differently?
Yeah, I agree with Rob that I think the brand exposure could be a little bit better too. But I also think if they can maybe add a little bit more like industry numbers, like, the results, put some numbers behind this, it will help.
And Crystalyn, what's your take on where this came from? Do you think this was suggested by a creative, or do you think they developed this technology and then the story was built around it? What's your take on that?
I'm unclear myself if this came out of a product innovation team as like kind of a lab effort to solve a problem and then they package it up, or if it was more of a PR-led idea. It feels like, because of what Rob suggested, that it's not overly branded, that it might have been more of a PR-centered idea, something that was designed to sit closer to a give back or a purpose-driven campaign. I also noticed that as a part of this, it seems like they're really trying to use this as a way for multiple audiences to build trust for Virgin Media and for O2 in particular.
Rob, I'd like to get your thoughts on how much time and energy you thought they spent on the public's perception of AI. Yes, to us more tech confident folk, brilliant, cool. It's a fantastically creative idea, but there is, the narrative around AI. It's black and white, right? There's two sides to it. Curious to know how the general AI narrative amongst the public has fed into this execution.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. And it also branches into what I found is a really interesting way of thinking about targeting and talent in the spot in terms of ages. The target for many of the scammers tend to be older individuals. I think therefore the brilliance of Daisy being a bit older, but I loved two things they did. Number one, that they also had Amy Hart as the spokesperson, former Love Islander, Gen Z, helped stretch the relevance of the campaign. I think a lot of people seeing this would think, I'd never fall for something like that. I think Amy's role in that helped balance it and say, it's a mass problem. It's a problem across all generations. It isn't just in one. Number two, I loved that they used Daisy's character to flip the script. The person you may feel is most vulnerable is therefore the one solving the problem and reeling them in. And so the way they managed targeting between Daisy and Amy as the host, I thought was really powerful. Yeah, I just love that they went the extra yard to say, hey, we can bring in a technology that scares a lot of people. We can show the benefits of it in real time. And in doing that, from a brand perspective, build an asset that is totally ownable, that we can manage this over time. So I think there were a couple of elements in terms of the benefits of AI, the role of Daisy, and then pulling an Amy that I think were really smart.
I think there's like a heroism that's sort of attached to positioning Daisy as kind of the solution to this challenge, which was really smart. And in doing so, it also makes this like good AI. So it sort of classifies this as a heroic effort. Look how cool she is. She's already the coolest granny. Really smart.
I want to say that they did put the personality onto the generative AI character, which is very important. And also, we always think that, we always know that AI agent is going to help us make our life better, complete our task faster. But this is kind of like a very creative spin, right? And also help us address all the pain points that we have, like, getting all the spam calls and everything. Now we have an AI agent that actually help us take care of it.
Would you sign this off on its current execution? Thumbs up or down? 1, 2, 3. Brilliant. Guys, thank you so much. And we'll see you all next week.